Hi, Julia. We're back.
Hi, Andre. We are back.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
I'm better.
You feeling good?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Very good. So today we're going to talk about adoption, I believe.
Yes.
You're very keen to have a bit of a conversation about that and talk about your personal experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have two adoptive children.
Mm-hmm.
One boy is 23. He's not really a boy anymore. He's a young man.
Mm-hmm.
And the other young man is 20.
Yes.
And if my memory serves me correctly, one is from Brazil. The oldest one is from Brazil.
Yes.
And the youngest one is from
Honduras.
Honduras. That's it.
Yes.
Honduras.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very good. So I guess the question I want to start with is, why did you decide to adopt in the first place? What was your motivation?
I always wanted to have like a patchwork family with own children and adoptive children since I'm very little.
Mm-hmm.
It was like my future plan when I was 10 or 11. I was thinking to have a family in that way, you know. Maybe because I'm extremely social person, even if maybe that doesn't look like, but I am very social.
What do you mean it doesn't look like? You
Yeah,
are extremely social. You love to go out and enjoy.
No, but I'm
social
social
events.
in the way I like to help, and I have this kind of heart, that I like to take. I care what happened in the world. That's mean I care what happened around me.
Yep.
I always care that, and then I always was thinking maybe it's a way to help. When I was little, I thought that, or when I was young, it's a nice way to help. To adopt children if there is so many children on the world. So around the world alone, without parents, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like a little dream I had or wish. And otherwise, I had in my family a person who was working in the Red Cross,
Red Cross. Yeah.
And she was the president from Red Cross Spain. And she is a cousin from my father. And she always was working with kind of children, and the orphanages and without families. And I think it was a tema that for us was like normal, or I hear a lot about that tema, and makes me curiously.
Mm-hmm.
And then we designed, when I was older, then I decided then to adopt children.
When you say older, how old? Can you remember?
So I basically wanted to adopt or to have children's or own family, biological or adopt children's when I was 25 years old. Okay. I had a wish in that age to be mother, and was not, doesn't work in that moment how I was planning. And then, but I think I remember I want to have a biological children, and at the same time I make the adoption Antrac.
Yep.
Formula.
Process,
process.
The application.
Yes, I began the process for the first child. And at the same time, like I wanted to be pregnant. It was like parallel, So, and yes, and I decided to do that because I had it before. I decided before, not in that moment. It was like now.
Yep.
Now is the time.
Cool.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
So what was the process like? I mean, if you go from start to finish, and I assume I know in your case it took some time. It wasn't a very fast process. So tell us a little bit about the process. What was it like? How long did it take? And was it the same for both boys, or was it different? Just talk about those experiences.
The process is practically I'm speaking from Germany. What is the process when you are living in Germany? That you are working together with the Jugendamt, with the child ministry.
I
don't know in English how is
the
Jugendamt.
Youth ministry.
Youth ministry.
Yeah.
So they decide, they make a home office, a home study, and they decide if you are available, if you can have children or no, depends of your not if you have much or less money. You have to offer that child that is coming something. You know, like you must be a good person. You must be married. Not always depends from the country the people or the children is coming. Not every country needs a parents that they are married. Some countries you can adopt if you are single as well.
Right.
So it depends of the country, and this home study makes the government, and after that you get with this home study if it's okay if you are the parent for that.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you say home study, you mean like they come and they do an assessment of you?
Yes, they check.
So they have like a criteria list, and then they assess your candidability. Yes. I don't even know the right English word for that. They assess whether you're good candidates to be adoptive parents, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
They decide, by the way, I don't know exactly because this depends from a foreign country where the children they are coming from, you know, because every country had another norms. They are not the same. So, but practically in Germany, you have to have the same points like family. A house, of course, you know, it must not be your own house. You can be in the rent house. Some money, of course, or work, or the possibilities to take care about this person. Like if you are going to have your own children.
Exactly.
Yes, and of course you don't have troubles with the police, and you have a clean past. A clean past. So, and. When this is done, then normally these papers they are going to. I choose an international adoption office because we wanted to have a child from another country, from a foreign country, and it's called Eltern für Kinder, Parents for Children, and they sitting in Berlin. So, and then you send all the papers there, and they prepare you for one determinate country. That means you have the possibility, because they work maybe with 4 or 5 different countries, and then you have to decide in which country are you want to go bureaucratic, you know, to have the adoption. So, and then you choose. And in that moment, I have many countries, but I choose, or we choose together Brazil for the first child.
Part of the countries that you can choose from, do some countries have easier processes compared to others, or is it pretty much the same? So, for example, if you chose one country A over country B, would country A be a faster process to get a child, or would they be the same?
I think this is normally they are all more or less in the same way. They are more countries they are difficult because, or some countries they can be easy now, but maybe in 2 or 3 months since begin to make the adoption contract, then it's changed everything because of political business or political problems in this country.
Right.
And all the political problems in this country with Germany at the moment, you know, how the relationship are between the countries. And this is something that it can change in 3 or 4 months, depends what's happening in the world. You
on
know,
political
you see
situations.
Political situation. Yeah. This is, in that moment, it was all the countries more or less in the same way. They know in which countries is easier, or they know in which countries are more children at the moment. They introduce you a little bit in that way, but they are more or less in the same way.
Okay.
Normally, if you work with 3 or 4 countries, the people in the office in Germany, they know how to work with these countries, and they know them. You know, too. It's like they are not. We didn't do the first adoption from Brazil, but we did in that moment the first adoption in Recife, for example. We was the first parents who got children from Recife. in all Brazil. Children was coming from Sao Paulo and from another areas, but not from Pernambuco. And we were the first parents got a children from Pernambuco.
Okay.
This was
So let's talk a little bit then from the first, say for the first child that you adopted. How long did that actually take from start to finish? What was the total time?
So this is the point why I want to speak about that, because maybe if someone is hearing that, I think it's time, because now we are in the informatic world, in the informatic area here, time in the world. Is everything is going too quickly, the things happen too quickly, the notices are going too quickly. I don't understand why the bureaucracy is still be like in the prehistory,
Yeah.
And this is the problem. And for my first child, I was waiting 5 years.
Wow.
Yes, and in 5 years,
Jeez.
he was born in. That means I make the contract, and my first son was not alive, was not in progress, and he come in the war middle in my process waiting time, and when I adopt him, he was 1 year and 4 months.
Wow.
Yes, that means I could have him maybe after 2 or 3 months he still be in the orphanage, and not longer at that time, because in Brazil they decide from him at the beginning. I think at the 3rd month in the orphanage, the judge decide he's going to be in adoption, or we are going to give him in adoption.
Is 5 years a typical time frame, or is that just extra long?
In that moment, I had it was an unlucky time, because the relationship between Germany and Brazil doesn't work.
Right.
It was a law they have to change. It's like international law between the countries for the adoption law. And Germany doesn't want to sign, or was too late with sign that law, the new reglement, new rules. And and this was a process that got 5 years, more or less. It is very sad this time. The waiting time is very sad.
Did you ever think that it maybe would just never happen? Like, did you ever feel like,
yes, I give up.
is this ever,
Yeah, sometimes I give up, and it's a stressful time. It's like you are pregnant, but the children is not coming. It's like you are in this process, in this mental process, that you are expecting someone, you are planning, and then doesn't happen, and doesn't happen, and doesn't happen, and it's not a nice time for the parents. They are waiting.
And then for the second boy, how long did that take?
He was coming very quickly, because we make in the first moment we make the contract. How is the contract? The contract for 2 children at the same time. It could be brothers, or
I see. Okay.
Yes, but I wanted to have more. I always wanted to have 5 children. And
really?
Yes.
So you were looking for have like a really big family?
Yeah, exactly. And then I said, okay, we do 2. I am always in that way. Even when I go to buy in the supermarket, I always buy 2. I think it's the way to be. I don't know, not just one. Oh, I like that so much. I think I get 2.
I get 2, exactly. Yeah.
And it was like that. I say, okay, let us directly do 2 children, because we know that we want to have a big family. Yeah. What else? We do it. And after Felipe was coming, then is the name from my son. Then more or less 7 months later was coming the second one. And this was very hard time, because to have 2 children in 7 months with a handbag,
A backpack.
A backpack full of problems that they bring normally with.
Right.
It was hard time. It was very hard.
So I mean, you don't have to go into too much detail, but what type of problems would come with them? Because they're so young. What kind of emotional baggage comes with them?
First is the genetical problems. If they are children from some drugs, or I don't want to speak now because this go directly to my children, and I don't want to make this for them now. This is the reason I just do in abstract. I tell in abstract
Sure.
what could happen.
Yeah, sure.
Could happen syphilis mother. Could happen
Okay.
another illness. You know, a
Right,
lot of
right.
parasites they bring meat with.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And a lot of problems with because they didn't get food.
Right.
You know?
So malnutrition,
Yes,
which causes then
malnutrition,
health
yeah.
issues.
Then we
Yeah.
had, if the
Okay.
parents, they got some drugs, so it
Yeah,
depends how
yeah.
they was living.
Yeah. Okay.
Abuse.
Yeah. Okay.
you
Okay.
know.
I see what you mean now.
And if
Okay.
they are very little, it doesn't matter. This is what they adopt. If someone is hearing that and someone want to adopt a child, doesn't matter if they are 1 year or they are 1 month. If they are bad, they are bad. You know, if you can adopt a 2 years old boy from the orphanage and to have a nice time in the orphanage, you know, without be abused, and maybe the pregnancy was not so bad, you know, and you can have 1 month old baby and this 1 month old baby with a lot of problems in the pregnancy and is completely there's going to get carry a lot of problems.
Yeah, there's a lot to be
later.
said about things that can affect babies in the womb in life, in later life. Okay, so the second one was faster.
Yes.
And you said there was a gap of 7 months between the two boys.
Exactly.
So how long did the second one actually take? What was the total time frame?
For him, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 2 years more or less, more than 1, yeah, about 2 years.
All right.
Since we said we want to have both, you know.
Right. Okay. And you couldn't get a pair like you were looking for, like brothers or something, or brothers and sisters or something?
I could.
Okay.
And but I, you know, it's the destiny wanted in that way.
Yeah.
I done.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes, you cannot design a lot what is going to
Okay.
be.
And was the process the same for both boys, the actual adoption process, or was there any major differences between the two?
Between the countries, a lot of difference. Sven was very quickly. It was like a flying, take it and coming back.
Okay.
Everything was prepared.
Okay.
And I didn't spend so much time there with him.
Right.
But Felipe was horrible. I have to be there more or less 4 months in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you had to live there for 4 months?
Yes. Then I was alone with him. Then I in all this time was football champions were.
Right.
Then they were in Brazil, you know, it was in Brazil. Then everything was closed. The office doesn't work. Then I have a Okran. Then I have water.
Hurricane.
Yeah, hurricane water.
It's interesting though. Why did they want you to stay there for 4 months? Did they want to do an assessment
because
with
everything
you
was
as well?
closed. Normally, you have to stay there for 8 weeks. That means
But for
2
what
months.
purpose? Why?
Because the church in that moment decide. Normally, the process is. This is what I say. It depends of the country. They want to see how the children is going to how is the development.
How they react with you?
Yes, how they react with you. They don't give you so easy the children.
Yeah,
they are
right.
watching all
So
the
they
time.
They assess.
They protect it, even if
Yeah.
the children they are in a shit
Yeah.
living.
Yeah.
They protect them. They don't give the children so quick, so
Yeah.
easy to someone.
Yeah.
They have a bad experience with Americans persons.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
because
let's
the
not.
American persons they normally go like you know they see a child. They are very pretty. All Brazilian young babies. They are amazing pretty boys. You know. And they look so huge, but they are not so huge. They have problems or they come with problems. And some people, they live 1 month there with them and they give their children back in the orphanage.
Really?
Yeah. And this is the experience they have it, and that doesn't happen something like that. They're always checking. You have there a social worker who is helping you all the time and asking you how it is going and how is the reaction from the children and from you, of course, too. And and then in between, I had a strike.
A strike?
Yeah. You know a strike?
Yeah. Like
office was closed.
the offices were closed.
Yes,
The adoptive offices.
all the offices
in Brazil.
Yeah.
So there was
because they
basically
have
a complete strike,
you know,
a
it's
labour
like
strike.
Yeah. And then the football.
Yeah.
Champion
So that delayed
League,
everything.
and then the hurricane, because we was in red alarm, and at the end was 4 months.
Wow.
Yes, changing place to live with him.
Wow.
But they give you my son was coming from the first moment to me.
Okay.
He was coming to me, and he was living from the first moment with me together.
Okay.
Both.
So let's talk a little bit about the first time you met him. What was the experience like? How did you feel?
Like if you are going to have a blind date.
Oh,
with
really?
Someone.
Yeah, I guess you could relate it to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like your heart is like.
Yeah.
You are in the aeroplane all the time. I couldn't sleep. Nothing. I think I was, I don't know, traveling 17 hours or I don't know how long, because I fly to Sao Paulo is very long. I'm from Sao Paulo to Recife. Brazil is so big, you know, like Australia. You fly again 5 hours, you know, from Sao Paulo to Recife.
Yeah, it's a massive country.
It was a very big, long way to go in there. And all the time I was like, you know, very exciting. Then I don't remember. I think Georgia was the social worker. She was pick up for me in the airport, but I don't remember exactly. I don't remember.
Okay.
I know I was completely alone, and I was always thinking if I'm pretty. You know, I always thinking I'm pretty. He's going to see me pretty. You know,
You wanted to look your best.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to look my best for him.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's understandable.
I can't explain you. It's like you are in love with someone, you know, very, very in love, and you want to be like shining for that person.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So.
And then I met him, and I brought him a little car. He got the car, and he spring away from me. He jumped away, and then we was talking a little bit, and they bring him back, and then I went with him to the.
How did he react? Apart from jumping away,
he has a very big eyes like he has now, watching all the time, and very shining eyes. But he was very leventic, alive. You know, he was
excited,
very excited young baby, like a baby. You know, with a big
belly. He was 18 months, 15 months.
Yes, with a big belly. You know, and he was very, very awake. Awake, very. You know.
Yeah. Alert.
Yes, very alert.
Bright.
From everything.
Yeah.
The first. I don't remember. I think the first months, they were really hard, because I didn't know that, but all the people there is living with the sun, you know, and I have jet lag. He was there. I didn't know exactly what he needs, what he doesn't need, because, you know, I bring clothes and everything, but I was like, what he needs, what I buy to eat, what he likes to eat.
And that was your first experience at being a mother, right?
Yes, my first experience was take a child, go to the apartment that you don't know, in the places you don't know.
Oh, that's
then with the
different
son
dynamic.
is sick. First week was just going to the doctor, from one doctor to another doctor to check his health, and it was he was awake at 5, like the sun, you know, in Brazil coming the sun at 5 o'clock in the morning, and at 5 o'clock in the morning the sun is like now here. It's like, you know, the sun is there. It's sunny. So, and at 5 was sunny, and he wakes up at 5 o'clock, and from 5 o'clock until it's dark he's still be like just jumping and doing things. But I tried to take him everywhere with me. I did, you know, to the shopping center there, to the restaurants, and from the beginning, I don't close myself in the apartment, so I went out.
No, you were active.
Yes,
you
I was
went out
active with him to make him tired too. You know that.
Good.
if he's sleeping in the night. And he was sleeping all night very well.
Okay, so that was when you first met Felipe, the first
Yes.
the first boy. What about Sven? How was that experience? Did you still have butterflies? Were you as nervous, or did you were kind of like you were familiar with the process? Was it a different experience?
It was a different experience because he was much little, you know. He was
Much smaller. He was younger.
Much small. He was baby, and I took him, we took him. Was together in Honduras. We took him and we come back to Germany very quickly, you know. And the process time was at home. Was here in not in Spain, in Germany, you know. Like I didn't have spend the time with him in Honduras so much. It just was 1 week there and we come.
And then straight back home.
Yes, everything was prepared.
A very different experience.
It's very different. And then with Sven, he was crying 4 days. He was crying a lot.
Right.
And then one day he stopped to crying, and he was there. You know. Yes, he processed the process for him was he was crying.
Yeah.
All the time. And I was very happy to have him because he got a kind of abuse.
Oh, right. He was abused.
It's in the way like he got a lot of food, too much food, and he was a very, very fat baby.
Oh, wow.
He
so
was
he was
overweight.
overfed.
Overweight.
Oh,
yes.
Goodness.
And when I saw this big baby, I was thinking, oh my God, he's so big. But he has a smile, and the eyes was like shining, and the smile was like I just was looking at him, and I told my husband, I said, I make him, I repair him, like I put him like he going to be, you know, like
You get him on the right path.
Yes, I get, and it was so long that they are littles. They was very nice to have them both, and it's an experience I recommend it to everyone. Even it's very hard because not all the persons are in the same way. Not all the adopt children, they come with problems or with a lot of problems. They come perfect without nothing. I had more problems than the normal adoption parents, or most of them, but because my first son is sick and still be sick until now, and is going to be sick all his life, but I learned so much from both of them until now. They make me the person I am now, I think. And all the process I have to I did with them, and all the bad moments and the strong moments I have to live with them. They make me stronger too, you know. Just my body was a little bit.
Yeah. How did you approach it when the boys started to think for themselves or realize for themselves that you weren't their natural parents? How did you approach that when they first came to you and said, "Who are my parents? Like my biological parents?" They never did that?
No, they don't ask.
They never asked you that. They never came to you questioning.
No.
Did you? Okay, so how did? I assume they know, right?
Of course they know.
So how did you approach that? What was your?
It was, you have always to see how the mental development from the children are. You know, if they are prepared to accept that they are not biological children from you or not.
Yeah.
And I did that one day because we were sitting in the car, and I think Sven was maybe 4 years old and Felipe was 7 or 6.
Must have been about 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. And then I remember it was a very big display with a woman who was with a big ballet.
Oh, yeah.
And we was driving.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what's the commentar. I think from Felipe, something with look, we was in belly from mommy or something like that, and I say, no, you didn't. And they was like looking, in the car behind. I could see the faces from
in the mirror.
in the mirror. I say, no, you didn't. You was you was coming out from my belly. I didn't ever tell you that. And they was like, no. And I said, no, you never coming from my belly. You come from my heart. And they was like, okay. So, and I stopped the car, and they was like very disappointed. Felipe not, but Sven, I think he was a little bit so disappointed.
Yeah.
And I was looking and say, but listen, from the belly until the heart, they are just 3 fingers. It's nothing. It's too close. It's not too much. And I tell you, it's much, much important to coming from the heart than to coming from belly. Much important. And I think they was processed that information for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and they began to spring, yeah, we're coming from the heart from mommy, yeah, in the car. Yeah. And that's all. And that was very, for me, was very easy.
And did they, they were very young when you said that.
Yes, I tell
did
you.
They,
4 years.
But did they, in their teenage years, when they became teenagers and started to mature into young men, did they ask again about it, or did they come and talk to you again about that?
They never wanted to ask directly, because we was always speaking often about where they are coming from.
Okay.
And this was like not a heritage, not a secret.
Sure. So it was an open conversation you had with them as they were growing up.
All the time, we were speaking about the countries, where they come from, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But, when they are teenagers, they are like all teenagers, they are always coming and pushing you.
Sure.
With the thing they know they are going to pain you, or they think they are going to pain you. And I remember one day Felipe said like, I want to go to Brazil. And then I told him in that moment the truth. I say, you go to Brazil and you are going to find something, you are going to find shit.
Yeah.
And then, but if you want to do it, please, I never were, I never was this mother. I cannot be a mother like always giving the children, how I can say it? I always need to say them the truth.
Yeah.
Even if they're hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am very hard with my children when I speak with them.
Yeah.
But they know exactly that they can always account with me. They always be, I'm a fighter. I'm a person who is fighting for them.
Yeah.
But I'm not the person I'm always taking them in.
Yeah. You're not protecting them by not giving them.
But not in this way.
Exactly. You're not what we say in English. You're not mollycoddling them.
No, I'm not nothing.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
You're not wrapping them up in cotton wool.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You're
nothing. But I have always then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to have the vision that I give them the.
And I think that's why you have such a good relationship with your kids now, because you have been so honest with them.
Yes.
And never hid any information or any truth.
No,
and if you speak openly with them as they grew up, I think that's only going to help them.
The best thing you can do is to talk with them like it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
There are so many patchwork families in the world, around the world. It's like a normal thing now. To adopt children is even not normal. I will wish that much more people doing that and helping the children, because many families here in Germany, they have money, they could do that.
They could do it, yeah. Yes. Well, not just in Germany.
And just in Germany, I think they have 200,000 children in the orphanages, Wow. 200,000 children in the orphanages.
So let's talk a little bit about that then. I mean, everybody has the possibility to be an adoptive parent. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that could be done. But do you think everybody is in a position to actually be adoptive parents? Are they ready to be adoptive parents? It's a tough situation, because it's not like you're having your own child, like a biological child. So there is a difference there. So what do you think? Is that something that everyone can be prepared for, or is it something that...
So legally, everyone can be an adoptive parent.
Yeah.
Like everyone can be a parent, a normal parent, biological parent. prepare. I think not everybody is in their situation can be an adoptive parents because to love someone from the first second, that to love in the clean way, to really love. If you are not in the way to can do that, and to accept that these children, they are coming with parasites, with illness, with a lot of psychical problems, with an history, and even if it's just little baby, all of them, they have an history. And if you are not in the position to give this clean love back to them, they are going to feel it since the first moment.
Of course.
And then it's better just to leave the children there where they are. Yeah. Because they're going to be more love there. Yeah. Even if they have a shit life, is the life that they know. Yeah. Yeah. And if you take a little person from his place, and you think you're going to put it in the better place, for them at the first moment it's not better, it's worse, because they know just that. But they are going to feel very quickly if they are going to be loved or not. And I think not everybody is prepared to love a little person from another woman, that they are not biological. Yeah. I don't think that everyone is in the way to do that. I think you have to, I always say that, I have many critics when I adopted children when they was little, like, you don't know because you are not biological mother. That means you maybe you will not know intuitive how to manage this or other situation, right? And I got some critics, from friends and or persons that I know it, like, you are less mama, you are minus mama, because you never...
People actually said that to you?
Of course. And then...
Jesus Christ.
Yes, of course.
What is wrong with people?
Yes, of course. With little ching, but yes, like, I don't know if you are available to do that, because, you had not experienced to be mother. Maybe you don't understand exactly how it is, or how is this love that you can give. And I, this was for me not easy to accept all these comments. And after maybe 1 or 2 years, when I become more mother, when I have my children more under control, then this was a long process for me to accept many things and to think about myself, if I'm a good mother or not, because they are not my biological children. Maybe I don't have the intuition to work like a mother, to have a mother role. And this is wrong. If you want, these children, they were so wish from my side, that you have to accept all is what is coming with these children together, and to do the job like a mother, and to love them unconditional love. You have to be more mother than the normal biological mother.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say,
you have to be double mother. But
you
have to be this kind of person who is mother with the friends, who is mother with the parents, who is mother with the brothers, sisters. I am a mother, a natural born mother from everyone. I tell everyone what they should do. I take care for that or for that. This is in my personality, and I always wish have this family since that means I'm a natural born mother, even if I don't have biological children. But I am more mother because I accept to be a mother from children. They are not mine.
I think that's a very cruel thing for someone to say to another person you don't know, because you have not had that child biologically. And in fact, I would also offer that they say that out of their own insecurity and perhaps even and jealousy, because you're showing a lot more strength and a lot more tenacity to say, I'm going to go and adopt children and bring them into my life and care for them as they're my own and be their mother. And as you said, I think you actually need to double down on your motherhood skills and your motherhood emotions and feelings, and and be a lot stronger in that sense. So I think personally they say that out of ignorance and even perhaps their own insecurities. I mean, that's a horrible thing to say to someone.
Yes, but they think that, and they always have this thinking, if you don't have biological, how do you love? Or maybe you love them so much, or they always doesn't understand.
That's insane.
How is the love in that? I know, but they really think that, and I don't need to give explications to anyone how much I love someone
of course.
But I always say I couldn't imagine that I loved someone if it's from my belly coming, from my body, like I love the children. I think for me it's not. I cannot imagine like I could love much more somebody else. You know what I mean?
No, of course.
And this for me is in my experience is the best way to show this unconditional love. I can't speak about this unconditional love because I have it. I feel unconditional love from my children.
Of course you do. Okay, last question I have for you.
Yeah.
How should people approach becoming adoptive parents? As you've explained, the first one was a 5-year process, so you perhaps were questioning whether or not you've got the tenacity for this, the patience, maybe you felt like giving up. How would you say to someone that was interested in being an adoptive parent, what's the best way for them to approach it from a legal perspective, from their own emotional perspective, from the dynamics of their own relationships with their partner? Because it's really two people adopting. It's not just one in this sense. If they're coming from a partnership, what would be your advice around that?
First, you need to wish to do that. You need to have the wish that you want to adopt a children, and how you prepare yourself. You prepare yourself if you make the decision to adopt. First you have to go through the decision to adopt or not. And this depends of everyone. How do you want to have your family? I want to have a color family, and I didn't care so much, maybe because I am a very strong person inside me, and I'm not afraid from foreign things, even if they are children, and maybe you have to have a kind of personality to do that. And if you decide to do it, what I heard all the time is that people said, we never do that because it's a long process, or it's waiting so much, or I say, yes, it is, or maybe it is not. But if you want to do it because you are going to get a children if you are intense behind. That means if you don't give up, you are going to get these children. And mentally, of course, you have to prepare yourself mentally, like the process is long. You need to translate many papers. You need to wait a lot. They give you hope, then again not. Then it's a war in between, or I don't know what. This is a process, and I just can say that people do it in the good way, in the official way. That this doesn't happen wrong things in between. Don't go by yourself. Because the countries, they have this adoption.
They have their own rules and protocols.
Agencies, and you don't need to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
And because there, then you are protecting than the mafias and all the money that is going to have to pay if you do it by yourself. Normally, in the official adoption, like I did, even if it's in a foreign country, you don't pay nothing. You just pay the bureaucratic cost, of course, translations and blah blah, and your travel, of course. But that's all. You don't pay extra nothing to nobody.
Right.
No. Like children, they're more or less gratis.
But at the end of the day, it shouldn't come down to a financial decision. It really, I think, what I'm trying to get at is it's about how best can a couple prepare for for the process.
You cannot prepare. You just have to be very patient and hopeful, but to be prepared that maybe it's not the person is coming, it's not the person did you
that
thought
you're expecting or anticipating.
Yeah.
So be open.
You have to be very open. It's like a surprise when it's coming now. You cannot, you make always like a view. But I think if you are a biological parent, it's the same.
Of course.
Because, if you have all when they are babies, they are all very sweet and very nice. But when they growing up, they are going they can be X, Upsilon, Z. And in one family, sometimes you see children, biological children, they are completely different from each other. And they have different characters. They are completely different persons. And this is the same if you adopt children.
Yeah.
Even you have to take care a lot about the illness, the psychical illness. It's very important if you are not in the way to adopt a children with Down syndrome or with a
mental disability.
Disability. This is very important that they look or take care about the mental disabilities.
Yeah.
Because if they have all problems and they come with a mental disability, it's going to be a lot of work, But the rest of the things, they are very, in my opinion, they are going to be like you want that they be,
Yeah.
If they growing up in a nice family and with love around, many things.
I think that's the key word, isn't it? Love.
Yes, love.
If you show the child love and only compassion and nothing but that, then everything will be all right.
Yes.
Love always wins.
Patient, a lot of patience.
And patience.
Yeah, patient. No, and waiting. How is paciente?
Patience.
Patience. Patience. Yes, this is a more important thing.
What an amazing story.
Yes, and I tell the people, please adopt more children. Now in Ukraine, how many children? Maybe they are going to be alone, and they are here from in the next third country, and they are children. They look more or less like Germans, and maybe it's the time to do something, to do something nice for the children.
Pay it forward,
and they help each other. The adopt children, they learn you to be a better person, like normally children do when you have children. But the adopt children, they give you a lot of happiness in another way. I cannot explain you. It's like exactly. Sometimes when I lose my nerves, or the hope. Sometimes, or I'm sad because it doesn't work that with them. Then I always thinking in the time what will happen if I didn't adopt them.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't stay alive.
Yeah.
Will be alive for sure, not in Brazil. Yeah. And in Honduras maybe too. And this make me very, very happy.
Well, I think it's amazing. I really do. I've got nothing but admiration and respect for what you did, and I think you've done an amazing job. I've met both your boys, and I think they're wonderful. So,
thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I think on that note, we will wrap it up. We're coming up to an hour, so I think it's enough.
Yes, it's enough.
Please. And we will be back again soon, hopefully.
Yes, on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, we'll do another one. Oh, that's right. We have a guest coming up. Yes. Yes, we need to get as many in because you're going away for summer, so we need to try and get as many recordings in as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
And after summer, we will begin again.
We'll pick it up again.
To all experience and
exactly
nice moments.
Exactly.
And to share it with everyone in the world.
Exactly.
So.
Okay. Well.
Thank you for hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.